Hello everybody, I'm Stephanie. Today we're going to be taking a flow looking at Warrior One, or in Sanskrit, Virabhadrasana One. So join me on your mat wherever you're at. We're going to begin today coming to tabletop. So aligning your wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Finding some movement, listening to the spine. Inhale, drop your core, lift your hips, lift the crown of your head, back, bend cow. Exhale, reach your spine up towards the ceiling, chin to chest, press away from the mat. So as you're breathing between these two postures, inhaling to cow and exhaling to cat, paying attention to how you're feeling in your hips. Because as we're coming into Warrior One, it's going to take working one hip forward and one hip back, finding some extension there. So we're listening to see how the body is feeling today. And then coming back to your neutral spine, engaging down through all 5 fingers, all 4 corners of the palm. Grip the mat as if you're trying to claw your way down into the mat. All 4 corners stay down. Core pulls in. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips up and back, finding your first down dog. Find some movement here. Maybe pedal your heels. You can wag your hips side to side. Maybe you're rocking back and forth on the wrists. You're just finding some gentle movement here. Again, listening to how the hips are feeling, the low back is feeling, the back of the legs. Core pulls in, reaching the hips up and back. Begin to settle in. Heels are reaching down towards the mat. Even if they're not touching, they're reaching down that direction. Roll your shoulders away from your ears. Look up between your hands. Walk your feet to the top of your mat. Standing forward, fold, belly button pulls in. Exhale, melt down. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands slide up your legs. Stopping right below your kneecaps. Take your gaze out in front of you. Core pulls in. Shoulders roll back. Exhale, melt back down. Reach down through the crown. Belly button pulls in. Inhale, reverse swan dive. And exhale, hands down through heart center. Transfer your weight to your left foot. Step your right foot directly back, keeping your right heel in line with your toes. Both hips in line. So we're setting up high lunge first here. Core pulls in, hips reaching down. So you're not reaching back through the tailbone, arching the back. You're lengthening. Squeeze your inner thighs together here to keep your balance. Arms reach up overhead. Now you can stay in Virabhadrasana 1, or high lunge, or move to Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1, by letting your right heel come down and the right toes turn out just slightly. So they're pointing up towards the upper right-hand corner of your mat. Left knee aligned over your left ankle. If it's going past your ankle, you can widen your stance a little bit. But you're wanting to keep, just like in your high lunge, right hip working forward, left hip working back, both hips in line. So one hip is not further front than the other hip. So you have your choice. You can come to Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1, or maybe you're choosing to come to high lunge. This is another option for Warrior 1. Left knee over your ankle. Keep working right hip forward, left hip back, down through the hips, core's pulling in, shoulders rolling back so they're not up by the ears. Keep breathing. Step your right foot up next to your left and exhale, hands down through heart center. Realign your hips, maybe take some wiggles, movement here. We're going to take a flow. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, swan dive. Standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down. Deep bend in your knees, plant your hands, step your feet way back to the top of your mat, top of your plank. This is your plank, it's nobody else's. Shoulders are aligning over your wrists. You can stay on your toes or you can drop your knees to the mat. Remembering it's plank on the knees, not tabletop. So knees aren't underneath your hips, they're way back. It's the core pulling in. Press down into the mat. Exhale, lower yourself all the way to your belly. Inhale, drag forward, lift up, little baby cobra. Exhale, melt back down. Inhale, press up, tabletop. Curl your toes, hips up and back, down dog. Take some movement again if that feels good. Feeling engagement, all 5 fingers, all 4 corners of the palm of both hands. Deep bend in your knees, look between your hands, walk your feet to the top of your mat again. Exhale, reach down through your crown. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down. Inhale, reverse swan dive, belly button pulls into spine, core lifting you up. And exhale, hands down through heart center. So we've taken a little bit of movement, realign the body. We're moving through high lunge, maybe warrior one on the other side. So transfer your weight to your right foot, left foot steps straight back. Inner thighs squeezing towards each other. Right kneecap over top of your right ankle. Find your neutral pelvis, core pulls in. Feel the alignment, left hip aligning with your right. You can stay here, or maybe you're dropping the left heel down. Warrior one, other side. Can you still feel all 4 corners of both feet? So making sure if you've taken warrior one, Virabhadrasana 1, you're not rolling to the inside of the foot. All 4 corners are pressing down. Keep breathing. On your next inhale, step your left foot up next to your right, and exhale, hands down through heart center. Inhale, lengthen, reach up overhead. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach back down through your crown. Deep bend in your knees, plant your hands, step your feet back, top of your plank again, your choice, on your toes or your knees, aligning shoulders over your wrists, lower down halfway. Maybe you pause this time, chaturanga. Maybe you go to your belly, find your back bend, low, middle, high cobra, or flip to the tops of your feet, up dog. Press back, tabletop. Toes together, knees apart, child's pose. Maybe find some wiggles again if that feels good. Just melting your way down. Letting the hips stretch out. Coming back down, coming back into your body here. On your next inhale, walk your hands back up towards your knees. Knees come together in line with your hips. Thank you so much for joining me on this quick little flow, moving our way through Warrior One. Blessings and namaste.